All right, part three. Ben and Jerry. These guys were awesome. They were so cool to hear their story and just to hear how they just basically just followed what they loved and failed forward. That's a common term in our world. And they just kept on doing it until they found the magic formula that worked for them. And I don't need to retell their story, but some of the main takeaways that I got from them was, and I'll focus on the failing forward part, was when they started their ice cream business. It was like a Baskin Robbins kind of a thing, and they learned pretty quickly that their profit margin was completely based on the serving size, and they couldn't could really control the serving size, as you can imagine. You know, you're scooping, you're putting the thing in there, and if you put it, an ounce too much, then their profit margin was gone. And I think it was Ben said, the customers aren't super happy when you're weighing the ice cream and then like pulling an ounce back and putting it in the container and or back into the big bucket. And so they had a really hard time with keeping their margins under control in that world. They eventually then moved into they knew they could control their portion size by doing gallons and 5 gallons of ice cream and then selling that to local grocery stores. And they had a big old box van that was super expensive to A, drive, B, maintain, C, tow when it broke down. And of course then their delivery was stopped whenever it was broken down. So then they basically put their margin into maintaining that truck. And finally they figured out that the pint containers were the way to go. They could control their portion sizes. They could sell in a higher margin world, into the grocery stores, and they could increase their distribution. And then they started talking about the different flavors. Obviously, we all know they're very famous for lots of different fantastic flavors. And again, I think it was Ben who said, it's all about the vanilla. If you don't get the vanilla right, you're not going to get anything else right. And that's kind of like real estate, and even building real estate. It's all about the foundation. It's where you start. How you're gonna build upon that, which I thought was a really great thing, good takeaway for me and my business, and what we do in our market center. The fun thing that happened from there is their distribution got really, it was growing and growing and growing, and then Pillsbury went to the distribution chain and said, if you want to sell our ice cream, you're not going to sell their ice cream. And it turned into a really big challenge. They basically tried to ice them out. And Jerry, there's actually pictures of Jerry picketing in front of the Pillsbury factory with a sign that says, "What's the doughboy afraid of?" which I think is fantastic. They had a whole campaign around it. Help 2 Vermont hippies fight the corporate overlords. Don't let Pillsbury's money strangle Ben and Jerry's life out of them. They had a whole, what they called their doughboy mail-in kit. And I'm sure you could do a Google search and find it. I'll see if I can find it and post it in the comments on our website. But YorkTeamRealEstate.com blog, if you're seeing this on YouTube. And so one of the greatest things about Ben and Jerry was, I don't know if everybody knew this or not, but Ben of Ben and Jerry stayed at the conference the entire time. While they were one of the early keynote speakers, Ben was sat a few rows in front of me and was recording and taking notes, and there was a point at which when I think I forget who it was. There's a lot of energy up on the stage. I forget who the speaker was or what was going on, but Ben was actually dancing in the aisle and recording with his phone, and man, the youthful exuberance from those guys was infectious, and I really loved. I would have never guessed that I could have gotten so much out of Ben and Jerry, but I really did. I really loved the opportunity to get to learn from them for sure. Let's see, and I guess on my next one, we'll dig into a little bit about the financial panel, some rainmaker stuff. If you don't know what a rainmaker is, that's the person who owns a real estate team because they make it rain for their agents on their team. Some takeaways from that panel. Sarita had a fantastic panel. Bob Stewart had absolutely incredible set. Anyway, lots and lots of really great content. I'm going to obviously try and make these a little bit shorter and post a little more often. But I hope you're enjoying them. Now, I do want to remind you, if you want a copy of my notes and or discount code for the upcoming Build How, text your name, first and last, and your email would be also very helpful to 206-800-7460, and I will send you a copy of my notes and or the discount code, which is currently 50% off for the event in September, and buy one get one free. That'll eventually shrink down to a smaller incentive, but so book early. So again, send a text to 206-800-7460, and I will get those to you right away. Thanks again for watching. Hope you're enjoying these as much as I'm enjoying making them, and we'll keep going. All right. Beautiful day.